our sword hurt box here is ready to attach. So what we need to do is look at our player object. What we're going to do is attach our sword as a child to our hand bone on our player. So bones on a model represent the pieces that will be animated when we apply an animation. So in our TA_knight, if you click the drop down here, you'll see a game object titled BIP001. This is what's called the root bone. And if we expand that, you'll see it holds a couple more bones with names you might have heard of, like the pelvis. So what we're going to do is we're going to expand this BIP001 and then expand our BIP001 pelvis. And then you'll go down here to our BIP001 spine, and we're going to drop that down. And I expanded this earlier, so I'm going to keep closing them. But you have BIP001 R clavicle. We're going to expand that one. And then from here, it gets easy. You just keep clicking arrows until there isn't an arrow left, and you should end up on BIP001 R hand. So what we want to do here is select our sword and drag it and drop it directly on top of our right hand. What that's going to do is make our sword a child of this hand bone. And that's important because we want this sword to move anywhere this hand moves. So if it's a child, it'll always follow that object that its parent. So the sword is the child, the hand is the parent. What we can do next is go to our position thing up here where we copied our position earlier. We're going to click our position for X, Y, and Z and set them all to 0. This will put it right on top of our hand bone. Next, what we want to do is kind of navigate using your scene view with right click and WASD. You're going to navigate so you're kind of looking at our guy from the side. And while you've got the sword selected, you'll tap E. And what that'll do is allow you to rotate it with this gizmo. And you'll see we've got this blue line, this green line, and this red line. What you're going to want to do is click the red line, so you kind of get a little bit of an angle here, so you can click on the red line, and that'll allow you to rotate it along the x-axis. And what we want to do is rotate it so it's lined up with our sword. You'll see how this top line is kind of parallel to this top of the sword. Once you've got those lined up nicely, you'll just have to hit W, which W, like we mentioned earlier, brings up the movement gizmo. You'll press W, and if you look, you see this little red square. What that allows you to do is move along the X and Y axis without having to worry about moving in the Z direction. So we've got our guy aligned. We don't want him to move away from the sword. So we click that red box and we just drag it until it covers up the point of the sword. And then you can move around in the scene view and get it as nice and aligned as you'd like. I think that looks pretty good to me. And once you've got it aligned, you are ready to start adding some logic to deal damage.